Welcome everybody to 10 Days in Dance. This is your roundup of everything you need to know in dance music. However, today a special guest has joined us, so forget all of that. We're just talking about Jay Hardway because he's joined us. Jay, say hello to the world.
Hello, world.
All right, so we've got our guest Jay going to come on. Amy, say hello to the world as well. Tell everyone how you are.
Hey guys, what's up? It's Amy Farina here. You might also know me as MC Unicorn. I'm happy to be back. We took a little hiatus from the podcast, but we're back today with a huge guest, so I'm excited to be here.
Jay, technically 10 Days in Dance happens because obviously loads of dance music happens and music news happens in 10 days. So he thought that's kind of like enough. But there's recently been far too much music news to keep up with. The likes of Calvin Harris versus Chicane, and we're talking about James Hype and Deadmau5 and all that kind of stuff recently. It like at the moment, dance music is better than Netflix. Do you agree?
Yes, it's a true soap series. I love it. There's so much going on. It's hard to follow everything, and I have to say I kind of miss those little beefs between artists like Deadmau5 and James Hype. And I think they both know very much what they're doing. Especially James Hype, I think, is a marketing genius, and he knows exactly how to trigger Deadmau5. And I love it. I love the response, and I think they all, from the outside, it might also look like they're hating each other, but I think they have a lot of humor. But I love a little bit of people stirring here and there. Yeah, it's too much to cover or to keep up with. I think there's so much going on, and with all the new styles and new DJs and like if you look at main stage lineups now, it's like so there's a bunch of genres there, which is awesome. But yeah, it makes it hard to keep up with sometimes.
We need to be like, the sports channels on the internet, like where you've just got scrolling news and like even like News 24 or whatever, just dance music news. We could fill it, but we don't have time for that.
Yeah, you have like a little bar underneath that rolls, and you see like the latest updates.
Breaking news: Clapton takes his mask off. I don't even know.
Exactly.
Anyway, look, let's circle back to the front, and we need to get an introduction for people who may not be familiar with you. Tell us who you are, tell us what you do, and I'll ask some more questions after that. If that's all right.
Yeah, of course. I'm Jay Hardway, and I am a DJ and producer. I have been for the past like 12 years professionally, which is crazy if I say that out loud. It's every time like it seems like it's 2 years. And I've started my career making music at home, and then I met Martin Garrix, and then Martin Garrix blew up, and I was making tracks with him at the time, so he like kind of pulled me in with him, and from then everything started happening. Released my own solo tracks after that, and I just had a great career after that, and it's just been, like I said, 12 years. I can't even fathom that how fast that goes. And now I have kids. I do less shows. I try to release more music, but keeping the focus and, like we just said, keeping up with everything is, I think, one of the challenges. But it's fun. I feel like my career and the whole industry, it's a challenge again, and I think you need that to push yourself. So exciting times.
Well, let's start at the start because you've got brand new music out now. So tell everyone about Body Move.
Yeah, so I've released music with Spinnin' for a long time and other labels after that, and I was like the old way of you need a label to release your music. And I do think labels can help you a lot, but this year I was like, you know what, I want to release, like, make music 1 week and release it the next. Like, I think the market also works that fast right now. So I'm releasing music now on my own imprint, Hardway Music, and my latest track is Body Move, which is a club track, a fun track that I love playing out live. And yeah, I think it's a typical Jay Hardway club track, and I want to show people with my music like, hey, this is what I'm making, and I want to release it as fast as I can. And with labels, yeah, we can release it in 3 months, and yeah, I'm like, no, I need to release it now because in 3 months it's not going to be relevant. And it's exciting. It's pretty it's more of a like risk. Your music doesn't get out to as many people as with a big label. But I think for my fans and the people that follow me, it shows like, hey, this is what Jay Hardway is doing right now, and it is actually right now. So I think Body Move was 3 weeks before it's released. I finished the master, so that's like how fast you can have music uploaded worldwide on all the platforms. Yeah, and I think that's what Jay Hardway's music this year is about. So what I make now, I'm gonna release in a month, or at least try to, and I think that. Yeah, it's just fun. It's a lot of fun.
Can I ask, as a producer, that you're talking about making the track and then releasing the track, which is great. But what about the testing period? Because doing it your way, do you not having done this for the last 12 months, I play a track and you know what? It does need to be different because then you end up with 3 versions. And that's really dangerous because then when do you stop doing the 4th, the 5th, the 6th? But do you not think you're in danger of not testing music? How do you know it works?
Well, that's the thing. I have like way less shows than I used to, so that makes it hard to test. What I do is I send it out to friends, producers, DJs, and try to get that ball rolling. But on the other hand, it's like it's one of those things now where if I think if a track doesn't really work, if I like it and it shows who I am, then it's deserves to be out there, and it's like a gift to the fans, and it's like showing what I'm doing. But I think, yeah, especially like a club track, it's just really hard to, without that many shows, hard to get that feedback. So that is a challenge. But I think I'm just focused on, hey, what would I play in my sets and see what works there. But yeah, there will be tracks that I don't release yet because I want to test them out. But yeah, for now I like this way. So.
What is the best way to test a track? Is it at a main stage Tomorrowland or a small club, or is it with friends? Or I'm not a DJ or producer, so what's the best way about going about that process?
It's a combination, I think. You want to preferably test it out at as many venues as possible. You want to show it to your friends. You want to show it to your mom. You want to listen to it in the car. You wanna like have it playing at a house party secretly, see if people start vibing out a little bit. So there's multiple ways. It's basically just what feeling do you get when it's played out? What do you see? Is there a reaction from the crowd? And I think if it would work in a small venue, and where people like are not really all focused on the DJ. So if it's like a smaller club, then you got a track that does really well. Because I think like my tracks that did really well in like 2016, 15, they were played in a lot of smaller bars and stuff in Holland as well. And that, like, if you have a track that can be played in a small bar and on the main stage of a big festival, that's when you have a really good dance track. It's suitable for a lot of locations, and I think that's what I'm also trying with my tracks. But also, I like music that you can listen to. That's fun. You don't always need to play it out on a stage. But yeah, the more feedback, the better. So if your mom doesn't like it, listen to her, because she might not have any experience in dance music, but she has maybe some good tips. So yeah.
Jay, I know for a fact you've tested some of your tracks out on your kids, right?
Yeah. Always. Like I get home from a studio day and I force my new music on my family and my wife, who's like, she's like, if she spent the day with the kids, she's like, she doesn't want to hear it, but I'm like, no, you need to listen to it.
Yeah, check out this bass line, feel the groove. It's so good.
Yeah. And her head's like thumping from the screaming kids all day. But that's how you test it out.
Jay, let me tell you something funny, right? And this is the track I've made is not even out yet, but my children know it, right? Because my son was playing on a computer game and he said, Dad, you know that lyric about being fast? I heard it in a computer game. I'm like, no.
Oh, wow.
Splice has done me.
Yeah. Oh, they know, yeah.
But actually, I found that to be a positive, because actually it's going to be familiar when it comes out. And but I would not have known that unless he'd have not heard the track and had not been gaming. So there were positives to this, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, and what I like about, well, my oldest is like 2.5, and she can be ruthless. So I'm like, do you like this? Do you like this? And she's like, no. And then she wants to listen to Frozen, like Let It Go. And it's like, it's ruthless, but that's the ruthless feedback you need. It's show it to everyone, and like I said, my mom can also be ruthless about my music, and I need that also. Yeah, so
I thought you were going to say your daughter said this mixdown was terrible. I'm like, that's brutal.
Yeah, she's like, yeah, around 60 hertz, there's a little bit of a...
Daddy, what are you doing? So this is all very interesting. And let me ask about the balance. Because you're a dad, you're a parent, you're a husband, you're a family guy, but you're a podcaster, you're a producer. and you're you're a traveling DJ. So what's the percentage in life now? Is it 20? Is it so easy to say, yeah, it's 25% on everything, or what? How do you balance your life?
No, I think that I just really struggle with it. It's hard to keep focus, I think. And it's because when I'm at home, I spend time at home. So I don't have my Instagram, my phone. I try to put it away as much as I can, especially when I'm with the kids. And with kids, I think I realized things just come up, like you're planning to work a day and your kids are at daycare, and then they call, oh, she's ill, can you come get her? And it's like your whole planning changes constantly. And I think that makes it really hard to focus. So it's challenging, and I want to stay healthy, so I want to be in the gym. And I think I just want too much, but it's good. It's a good problem to have because it keeps you on edge. But yeah, balancing, I think is something I strive for, but I haven't achieved it yet. So it's yeah. I wonder how, like when you have your first kid, I think what I had was like, how do people even have kids and do anything beside? And now it's like, okay, I can see how you can do things beside it, but you can't push it. So sometimes you have to just accept that it's like there's just less focus. And I think like last year I didn't do many releases, and I can see that this year I have less shows. I'm very happy with that because I get to spend time at home. I get to finish music, and because the full-time touring isn't for me anymore. But yeah, you have to accept that's a consequence of you're less focused and are able to spend less time. But for me, I see it like, hey, I want to be there for the kids, and the rest is like always comes second. And I think, now that my kids are getting older, you realize, oh, there is some more time available here and there. So yeah, but that balance, I respect a lot of like great artists who turned out have kids for a long time, because that's that balance is something that you strive for, and it's really hard to get, I think.
Are you teaching your kids how to DJ? What role has music played in their lives so far, other than having a DJ for a dad?
Yeah, well, not too much. I mean, I bring my kids to the studio sometimes, and then she meets. We have a building here with where there's other DJs as well. So she meets them, and she's like, she sees the studio, and then can like play on the piano and stuff, or the guitar. She loves the guitar, but I'm not. Yeah, I show some videos, and then she says, "Hey, Papa, Dad," like on the video. Yeah, for her, it's probably really hard to really fathom what I do. But yeah, I just try to show them what I do, and she now understands. Like I say, I go to work, and she says, "Oh, you're going to the studio?" So she like gets where I'm going. So yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, I have a DJ set here, and I haven't really. I was thinking about the other day, I should bring that home to just have them like play on the DJ set. But yeah, not too much. I think music is always a big part of my life. So at home we play music all the time, and like I said, it's a lot of. I think my Spotify Wrapped at the end of the year always has "Let It Go" as number one. Yeah, and I try to like push my music in between and other music, and so.
Hey, be careful bringing children into music, because I heard a story about Blondish. Her dad had a record player that he wouldn't let her use, which made her want it more. So when they went out, she didn't know how to operate it. So she got a needle on the vinyl and turned the vinyl, and she heard some noises. I mean, that record's never getting played again, but she heard some noises. I'm just saying, if you value your record collection, just be careful about what you're planning in the home, right? Because you don't know what you're going to come home to.
Like with the gear and stuff. Yeah, they have to be a bit careful.
Yikes. Talking of children, let's talk about Ralph and Joey.
Yep. Yeah. Two big kids.
Yeah, two big kids. And that is, you've got it on your pop shield there about the artist coaching podcast. Yeah. Talk to us about, you're having fun doing podcasts. It feels like that way anyway.
Yeah, it's I think fun is the most the biggest reason we're doing it. And we do a weekly podcast, and it's called the Artist Coaching Podcast. But what we realized quickly after starting to do it weekly is that we're really starting to build a little community with artists that are starting out, that are more successful, and some of them actually like having now like wide tours. So it's like we realize that little community is something where people like us can meet each other. And I think what, like back in the day, sounding old, we had like forums, like the Laid Back Luke forum, the Vado Gonzalez forum, where you would meet other producers, and it wasn't about fame, it wasn't about money, it wasn't about all that. It was really about, hey, here's some creatives. We want to all make music together. I want Laid Back Luke to comment on my track. And it feels like it's so hard to find a community like that these days, where it's not about blowing up. It's about, hey, creatively being the best artist you can be. And I think that we're trying to be a place where people like that can meet each other. Because I think, of course, they can meet me and they can talk to me. And I always try to reply to all DMs. But I think the value in a community like that is that they can meet each other who are on the same level and have that same drive and passion for creating and being an artist. That's where the real magic can happen, because I think that's how I got big with like working with guys like Martin Garrix. We were two nobodies, let's say, in the scene. Then we work together, and then you make something that's so big that people can't go around it. But that's very interesting. And then Laid Back Luke is also sometimes joining in that podcast. He's part of the artist coaching community as well, basically. And he's like, he loves that as well, because he used to be that guy with the forum where Avicii came through, where Ingrosso came through, where all those guys that got huge got started when they were very small from their little attic, making music. And I think we're trying to be that, the place where you can really meet people who are like-minded, and also we just love talking trash. And it's fun because I've known Ralph for a long time. He's also been kind of my mentor when I just started out, and he showed me how things worked. Joey has been a big DJ and decided to quit because of the mental load, and like that. It's just a big, how do you say, not couldn't handle it, but it was too overwhelming, and he wanted different things in his life. But that's a very interesting mix of us three, and I think I'm really like pushing people to be creative and trying to make something that they really feel. Ralph is really good in the commercial part and analyzing the industry, and Joey is kind of the mediator so that we don't fight each other too much. But it's an interesting mix, and we're trying to keep it light and no script. Yeah, it's fun.
Joey, he's writing a book right now, so I hope he's going to give you a credit in that, right?
Sorry, what?
Joey's writing a book, yeah?
Yeah.
Have you asked for a credit in the front page? You should do if you haven't
No,
already.
I should, yeah.
Definitely.
That's a good call.
Yeah, just make sure that happens. And I saw Ralph at Tomorrowland Winter.
Nice.
He's effervescent. He's always got good energy. He's always wise, and that's why I like listening to what he has to say. And that's why you're here, to be honest, because we were talking about your podcast, and I love to like listen to it and the stories that you share. It's all very real and personal. And when you've got three different aspects, three different angles, it doesn't matter whether it's a news story or it's a coaching advice. Like you said, you get three different angles on it. I think it's really important because not one angle is going to suit everyone, but when you've got three, the likelihood is that if you're a listener, you can go, actually, I line with Jay, or I line with Joey, or I line with Ralph, and that's
or a bit
really
of both.
important.
Yeah, it shows like, hey, there's different ways to achieve success, and I think that's really interesting. Yeah, I mean that we're so sometimes on a different level, sometimes on the same level. Yeah, I can see how that's interesting for starting producers, and also seeing like, hey, we also don't have the answers. We also are sometimes struggling. And I realized that because I also did do some one-on-one sessions with people who are part of the artist coaching programs. And they always are surprised when I say, hey, sometimes I get to the studio and nothing works. I'm sitting here for 8 hours and nothing comes out. And I feel like I'm terrible at making music. And they're like, would you have all these tracks? I'm like, yeah. And almost every one of those tracks came after the struggle of a week or a month or months. And just that perspective can be very eye-opening to if you're just starting out, No one has all the answers, even though it seems like that because of all the social media, It's all like, look how I made this track. And I showed how I made Body Move, my latest track. And it's a bunch of samples. It looks like a very simple project, which in the basis it is. But I told in the video I did, like, please remember, this took me 1,000 tries. It was like 1,000 samples before I picked the 5 right ones. And that's something, just that perspective can be very, for beginning producers, artists can be like, hey, I need to push through. And that's, hopefully motivates everybody to work harder, regardless if you're an artist. It can be in any thing in life. And I think that's if you can be that for one person already, that would be already amazing, you know.
I think that's important for me and Amy. We're collaborative because Amy's an amazing writer. I'm not, and I can talk, but so the strength of collaboration is really important, and that's what you've got in your podcast. That's right, Amy, isn't it? It's like you play to your strengths, and we join them together, and suddenly we're stronger together, right?
100%. I mean, that's what makes us a great team. And that's how we got connected in the first place. We had a lot in common, but we also had things we do very differently, separately. So coming together all as one. But Jay, how do you get through those moments where you feel stuck? You mentioned it's common for DJs or artists where for writers, we hit a writer's block, right? But for you guys, you don't know what to do next for the track, or it's just not working out. How do you overcome that?
I think in the beginning I struggled with this a lot, especially if you make a track that you release and then it does well, you're like, what do I do now? And then you're overthinking everything. And I think back then, for me, it was really hard. Now it's almost just as hard. And it feels still like sometimes like you're super stuck and you will never create anything good again. But just the knowledge that you can overcome that helps you, because you're like you can kind of like in a way put that stress and that stuff aside, because you will overcome it as long as you keep working at it. And I think that knowledge of like, hey, I can overcome this can help, but you will still feel it. I think that's very important to realize. You will still feel stuck, you will still feel like a loser, but I think that's important to just let that feeling be there, and then know that it will change as long as you keep working and try to reinvent yourself. And I think have some distraction. I think kids are a great distraction, but I also started playing golf, which is like super addictive, but it's for me because music is my passion and became my job. So a lot of it, sometimes I don't even want to listen to music because I'm like, I've been listening to music all day in the studio. But then if I play golf, and I think this goes for people that with any hobby, I can forget everything, and it's just for fun. No one expects anything of me but me. So yeah, sometimes take a little break, plan your breaks. And if you take a break, actually do it. So if you're like, let's say you're working and you're like, hey, I need a break. Take that break, like really watch Netflix, do nothing, just take that break. Because also you can be kind of like needing a break and then being like, no, but I kind of half work through it. No, just take a break for an hour or half an hour, or set a time and really enjoy it and know that you will overcome it. I think that's something. And you also don't know if where you're going to end up anyway. So something might be successful or not. You don't really have all the control in that anyway, so let that go. Like you can push through. I think that's important advice.
Let me say that we've covered off the present with music and life. Let's go nostalgic and stay in this section, pure nostalgia. Would you remix Wizard for a 2025 crowd?
I never thought of that, actually. I think that's actually a great idea. Maybe I should. It
still stands the test of time, but it's a different kind of dance floor. But it worked then, and obviously the music industry always looks inwards on itself. Like, so what's to stop you? And if so, I'm not talking like an Afro house version, or it may be. But yeah, come on. So get a flex, get a switch up. You own your copyright, don't you? So you could do that, right?
I could. Yeah, I think so. I do think Chami back then made a amazing remix, which I think if you listen to Chami's remix now, it could be made today, which I think is a big achievement. And Wizard itself, like you said, it's still a great track, but it really sounds like that era. And then I have the Chami remix, so it would be really hard to not think about that and make something else. But yeah, maybe I should. It's been long enough.
Let me take the pressure off you then, Jay, because if you do a new version, let's just say, who else could you get to remix it? And I'm thinking like, for me, Notion, if you're going down the Charmy route, Notion, who did, Crystal the Days, that would be an interesting remix, but that was my suggestion. Who would you love to remix the track in this day and age?
I think John Summit could do something wonderful if he goes that progressive style he does. I think that he's probably one of my favorite artists right now, but I think the track Where You Are is just Yeah, one of my favorites of the last years. Morton could do great, I think. There's so many bass checkers. Like what I like about bass checkers new stuff, it's like they really go with the trend, but they stay true to themselves, and their music is made for the dance floor. So I would love that.
This is a double EP, by
Maybe
the way.
me and Martin Garrix should just get back together and make a new version. That
You
could
know,
also
why
be
not?
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. There's a lot of artists that could do it, but John Summit would be my number one favorite at this time, I think.
Stay on the nostalgic trip right now. Let's talk about. It'd be rude not to talk about Tomorrowland, because that's well. I think our first meeting was actually ADE. I think possibly a long time ago.
Yeah.
And then it followed into Tomorrowland. But let me just talk about Tomorrowland memories. You played there a few times. There was last year as well, I think, right? So talk to us about a distinctive one standout moment at Tomorrowland. What was it? What do you recall?
My first time at Tomorrowland, I played a small stage, and a stage on the water. It was like the talent stage, and I was super excited to play there. But I was like, it's a small stage, you know. It's probably gonna be it's gonna be fun, and it's Tomorrowland, so it's. And I got there, and there were Australian DJs before, playing before me, and I was like, what's going on? I was like, holy shit, people are going crazy. So I was first of all like baffled, like such a small stage, such big energy. And I was like, how am I going to follow this up? Because like it's already going crazy. Can it even go crazier? And it did. And the whole set was just, and it was the smallest stage, I think, or one of the small stages, but the energy was so big. And I think that's what, for me, every time I played Tomorrowland, because I didn't play the main stage, but all these stages I played, and I played big stages and small stages, it's always that energy of people being so appreciative they're there, and of the music. And I think that's what, for me, is always the good thing about Tomorrowland. I think people are so happy to be there, and it doesn't matter which stage. They get that big energy every time. And I think that's is so magical about that place. It's just, so it doesn't matter which stage you play. It's always something special. And the team there, you know, everything's taken care of. And like last year, Adam, because I was like, hey, can I go up there? And I don't know if I spoke to you or someone else, but it was like, yeah, just go up there and see if he has a slot for you. And then you just live in the air, like, hey, Jay, come on in, and ask me a few questions. And I think that's also fun. You know, it's the biggest festival in the world, and it's still very much like, hey, just walk in, you're part of it, and that's very special to me.
Times. It's great to go to nostalgic times as well, because there's so many memories, and it means so many things to so many different people. Amy, what was your first Tomorrowland?
So my first Tomorrowland was 2023, actually. But when you said let's go to nostalgia, I'm like smiling over here. Adam knows I'm like stuck in 2010. Like I haven't left the year of 2010. Just like so, and especially with your music as well. And I was recently on a podcast about Avicii. So when you said nostalgia, I was like, yes, I like where this is going. But my first Tomorrowland was in 2023, and it was with EDM House Network. So kind of new to Tomorrowland, but I will be there this year again. And what you said about the stages is so true. Just walking around, each stage, no matter how small, has its own unique characteristics and personality and vibe. So it kind of has a main stage energy, even if it's a tiny little stage, even like the Rave Cave. You ever go to that really small one?
Yeah.
I also find myself at the Moose Bar a lot because I like opera ski music and like Dutch music and carnival music. So the Moose Bar, every single stage, you feel like you're at the main stage. It doesn't matter if it's tucked away in the corner. And that's part of the magic of Tomorrowland.
Yeah.
Amy, I want to move away from nostalgia, but I'm also conscious that you want to cover nostalgia. So what do we need to cover in nostalgia section quickly?
No, I think that was. I think we could do a separate podcast on that. Let me just ask one quick question then. What would you say is the best year for electronic music?
Ooh, that's a tough one. In a way, maybe this year, 2025, but it's always with hindsight that you can say it, I think. So we can't say yet, but it's a very interesting year for electronic music and all the fusing genres, you know, it's awesome. I think for me, probably 2015 or 2016, 2013, I had my breakthrough. and it was all like happening so fast. And 2015 was kind of the year where I was like really confident in my shows, and I did big shows, and I had big solo tracks. So I got rid of a bit of imposter syndrome, where I was like, should this all be happening to me? And then I was really like in a flow of like um, big shows, small shows, touring. Yeah, music that came out that did well, and it's I think also that era where, yeah, like 2015, 16, and I think after that it started shifting a bit, and it became different, and then COVID hit, and it was kind of like the big reset. But yeah, I think for me, probably if I have to pick a year, 2015.
Adam,
Great
what would
question.
you pick?
It's a great question. Me and Jay both made the same.
Ooh, yeah.
It's such a loaded, tough question to ask, and
Yeah.
for technology and for creativity, you can't beat the present. But also, I've found myself going back to JD Plastic Dreams as one example. I spoke to Jay who made it, and he said, yeah, the drums were too ahead of the time. They were too big for that, but that meant that the track lasted like a fine wine. So you could go right that far back. But actually, I'm loving like the 2000s minimal right now because I didn't appreciate it when I was in it. And now I'm listening to it and it's timeless. And, if you go to some John Digweed or Sasha moments as well, or even sort of just stuff that lasts the test of time, that speaks for itself. So trends come and go, but great music always sticks around and they turn into anthems. But sometimes the best songs are not even anthems, and that's what makes them the best songs. So I cannot put a year on it because I just can't. There's just too much good music. But I'm grateful that I've managed to be part of every year that I've lived, and there's always some best track of the year. You know what I mean? And that's just a blessing for me. No year. No, I'm not putting a year on Amy. I know you're going to say 2010.
Yeah.
I know Jay's saying 2015.
Or 2012, 2010 or 2012. I started raving in 2009 in the US, and just like that era, and like we talked about like Avicii, and just, I don't know, that era just is really special for me. So I'm still stuck there. I haven't left.
But Amy, just to be clear, like what's interesting is if I'm reading right, that's not the music, that's your memories. That's your favorite year of memories, right? And it's associated with the music. It doesn't mean the music was the best. No?
I think it was the best. I really like the big.
There's no killer.
Well,
It's 2010 and that's
yeah,
it.
I do like that big room EDM sound, which is funny because on this podcast we talk about how I like speedcore and terror and like up tempo and stuff. But the other side, my other personality really likes the big room EDM, like that kind of EDM. I don't know.
Jay, just to be clear, I think I'm right in saying Amy's first record was Crazy Frog.
Yeah,
It's coming back now. It's coming back now.
You know what I mean? Amy's bang on trend, always has been.
love it.
Yeah, look, let's park the nostalgia because we're going to have to wrap up, but otherwise we'll be here this afternoon talking until late night. Let me ask about the future, Jay, because we've done the present, we've done nostalgic. What is the future? Is it quality over quantity, or and let's talk about you personally, then let's talk about the scene.
Wow, I have no idea what the future holds. I think what I'm aiming for with my music is keep innovating my sound and showing more of what I do. And I think social media right now is an amazing place where, of course, the how addictive it is difficult, and I think especially for kids. But what I love about it is that I can have an idea, and I produced this afternoon and an idea to how to post it, and I can have it edited and stuff and post by the evening or 2 hours later. That's what I love, and that's what I strive to do, is like, hey, I want to show what I'm doing here in this little thing. Not so much like my personal life, because I think I want to keep that personal, and I'm not prone to sharing too much of it. Not that I don't want to, it's just it doesn't come up to grab my phone and share it. But I think that's what I want to show. I want to show how versatile I am as a producer, what I love, and release music, and release a lot of music. And what like I said, I started my own imprint. What I'm striving for is starting an own label. And I want to start with release myself to collabs, and then open up for talent. And I mean real talent. And that's what I'm starting to build. But like I said, focus is difficult. So my own music has to come first. From there, I have no clue what the future holds. But ideally, I definitely want to play the Tomorrowland main stage at some point. So that's like still one of those goals. Like if you have that, then yeah, it's in a way, this sounds really weird. It's cool that I haven't played there yet because it's always, it can still be that goal. And I think right now, if you would play there, that would be one of the things like, oh, that's your level of artist at that moment. So yeah, but what the future holds, to be honest, I never really thought more ahead than 2-3 weeks. So I think that's also the best way uh, to live. But yeah, big dreams, and shitty planning. I think, 'cause I don't know if I can swear on this.
Yeah.
That's the podcast headline. No, we got it. We nailed it, everyone.
Yeah, I'm a horrible planner, but I have big dreams, so I'm gonna make them happen no matter how.
So I'm going to infer from that you're not going to make hardstyle and you're not going to make drum and bass, right? You're not going to
Well, I actually did make some drum and bass, and that's just for fun. I'm finishing with Max, who used to be part of Dirt Caps. So I have all these side projects, what I'm working on, what I also want to show under different aliases. So there is a lot of music being made, and I hope to show more and more of it.
There we go. We nearly didn't get that, but now we do. So look out for that. Very exciting. What about the scene? What about the scene? Like, okay, in 12 months' time, you know, having seen what you've seen and having your ear to the ground, and I'm not talking about like, you know, Eric Prydz Holosphere 2.0 or Anima's like, you know, Sphere shows. I'm talking about what's the future hold for
I
us?
think people want to dance and want to party, and they less and less want to show like, oh, this is where I'm at. We all have seen the videos of like kind of music with people not dancing but only filming. I think that's going to be a thing of, well, not totally of the past, but I think what people really want is to go out there and party. And I think dance music plays a role, and I think artists will be at the forefront again of what is this culture. And I think right now a lot of the industry is like, labels are trying to decide where it's going, but I think artists are at the base, are at the foundation. So I think, yeah, people are gonna really dance again. It's gonna be more about dancing and having a good time instead of sharing it. So that's what I think and kind of hope is going to happen.
Interesting times. I love the Inspire podcast. Keep mixing, keep sharing the music. That's always good. That's like your mix outlet, isn't it? As opposed to your spoken outlet, right? It's like,
yeah. It's like all the music that is coming out that I enjoy, that I would play in my sets, and that inspires me to be a better producer.
And what's the best place to follow you? Is it on Instagram or is it elsewhere?
Instagram for sure. TikTok and Instagram, I kind of post the same things, but Instagram, you get a little bit more stories every now and then. So definitely give me a follow there. Yeah.
Drop the handle. Come on, what is it? Just to be sure.
At Jay Hardway.
There you go. It's always there. All right. Well, look, for us here at 10 Days in Dance, it's been fascinating insight. Thanks for sharing the behind the scenes, also family as well. I know you said you're not so keen on doing that, but look, it's really nice to kind of get that image of you playing music to your family over dinner.
Yeah.
But yeah, Jay, look, it's been great. It's been good to catch up. I'm looking forward to next time. I think I'm coming onto your podcast to go and have a chat with you boys about stuff. So I don't know how that's going to play out. But yeah, thanks for the invite for that as well. Amy, any final questions to Jay? Anything you want to say?
Yeah, one final question just to close this off. So you mentioned you played golf, which I did not know about you. What is something about you other than golf that would completely surprise your fans and our listeners?
Probably that I'm diabetic. Type 1, and it's something that not a lot of people know, and I have been looking for ways to incorporate it because I want to be like example for people with diabetes, but it's hard to figure out the way that it's also like, I don't want to be like, oh no, you know, like because it's not that dramatic. So I'm trying to look for a way how to incorporate that, and I know Austin Kramer is a type 1 diabetic who also shares about it a lot. So I'm still looking for a way how to do that. Yeah. So that, I don't think a lot of people know that about me.
Yeah, thank you for sharing that. I'm sure a lot of listeners can relate to that, and yeah, it's important to share your story. Yeah. Thank you.
There you go.
Sure.
Right to the very end, just giving, right to the very, very end.
Yeah.
Great question to finish us off.
Yeah, for sure.
Jay, look, it's an absolute pleasure. We'll share this and tag you in. We'll see you very soon. But from us, 10 Days in Dance, saying thanks, Jay Hardway. Good luck, and we'll see you very soon, okay?
Thank you for having me.
Bye.